Democrat State Representative Diego Hernandez has resigned. Oregon House lawmakers were preparing to vote on his expulsion from the legislature this week after a panel of lawmakers determined he created a hostile work environment for 3 women. Hernandez says he hasn't been given a real chance to present his side of things. He filed a lawsuit in an effort to stop the House vote from happening, but a federal judge rejected that this weekend. In a statement last night, Hernandez said he's resigning so, quote, my colleagues may focus on serving Oregonians, and so I can move forward with my life and focus on my health and family.